Hello, welcome to Daily Austin Music. My name is Colin McDonald, and this is The Damn Tonight Show. And on this special episode, we're going to start with bringing out our first guest. Now, you know him as the prolific staff writer for the Austin Chronicle and the best punk rock mandolin player I know. Please give it up for Kevin Curtin. All right, now, thank you so much, Kevin, for being here. And for the people that aren't familiar with you and your work, catch us up on, where you come from and how you got to Austin.
Yeah, I'm a staff writer at the Austin Chronicle here in Austin, Texas. I grew up in northern Michigan, in a pretty remote, microscopic place. When I was old enough to move somewhere, I moved to Lansing, which is the capital city, and it's kind of like a industrial wasteland type town with a college in it. And that's when I learned to start writing. I did a zine called Rats in the Speakers.
Oh, cool.
Anytime people would come and play in a basement or come and play at Mac's Bar or come and play a cool show in Detroit, I would kidnap them after they played and ask them questions and then usually just publish like Q&A style interviews with people. That's how I learned how to write. And that took me absolutely nowhere as a professional writer for the ensuing probably about 8 to 10 years. I was just a musician. I traveled a lot. I hitchhiked around the country 2.5 times. I lived in a camper with my girlfriend and traveled around the entire perimeter of the U.S. and did medical studies for money and continued to write the entire time and send it to people and almost was never published. Definitely was never paid.
Now, wait, go back to the hitchhiking around the country 2.5 times. Was that a Jack Kerouac thing or what?
It was just to meet different people. And like when you're hitchhiking, you see a lot of like weirdos and you get people who pick you up and want to like have sex with you in a hotel room or something like that. But for the most part, you're getting picked up by like 4th grade teachers who are cool. And they want to like smoke pot with a hitchhiker, and so you meet a lot of cool people. And that was actually the very first time I came to Austin, Texas. A girl named Sam who picked us up said, I have an uncle who owns a recording studio in Austin and he's out of town and we can stay at his house. And we stayed at a house. I still don't know who it is. It's probably someone who I know now, but
of course.
We stayed at a house. I know it was on South First Street. I remember I borrowed like a children's bike from the house and rode it down to Barton Springs. And I was like, holy shit, like there's so many cool looking people here. Like in the Midwest, everybody's kind of homely as a mud fence. And in Austin, it's like all these beautiful people, mind blowing to me. And also the very first day I was here, I met Leslie on 6th Street, and I came to my friend and I was like, dude, I just met the weirdest guy in the world. I think it was a guy. Yeah, that was like, I can't think of a better like introduction to Austin than that right there.
Once you got here, what happened that led you to working at the Chronicle?
When I moved to Austin, I was still living in my camper, and I got a job at Planet K, which is a head shop. And Margaret Mosier, who's one of the best journalists in Texas history. She would come in there occasionally to shop or for meetings that she was having at the museum next door. And I would bug her about the Chronicle and like talk to her about recent stories that she read or that she'd written, try to play cool music on the store stereo so she'd be impressed with my musical taste and be like, hey, I'm a writer, can I send you some stuff? That helped me get my foot in the door at the Chronicle. And shortly after I wrote record reviews for maybe a couple months before Margaret found out that she had cancer and they needed someone to take over the music column. And that's when I took over the music column, which I called Playback. I was the 7th person to write it in like a 30-some year history. And scene columns are pretty rare in alt weeklies. So I took it real seriously and would sometimes like just try to go all Woodward and Bernstein on like a club opening or closing or like stuff that was happening in music and try to make that kind of my lens of journalism.
Of course,
mixing that with my experiences as a musician. I did that for 7 years until last year, at which point I knew that if I was going to keep doing that column, it would probably kill me because I was up until 4 a.m. every night, and then I'd wake up at 8:50 in the morning and start writing. And I passed it on to Rachel Rasco, who I think's probably the next great writer in town, and I started writing more features.
And that's what one of the things I really appreciate about your writing is that you're coming at it from a musician's perspective. Now, let's talk about playing mandolin in a punk band. I mean, how did that come to be?
Because that was what I knew how to do, because my uncles play old-timey music. So rather than electric guitars and basses and stuff being around the house, it was always like a tenor banjo or a mandolin or an acoustic guitar. But I liked punk rock, but that's what I had to play it on. And then later when I moved here, I saw that there was people like Walter Daniels, who I play music with now, and he plays harmonica. And I was like, well, this guy's really good at harmonica, but he plays it out of context. He plays it in like garage punk groups or experimental things. And it's like, well, you can play an oddball instrument in a different scenario. And then all of a sudden it doesn't matter how many fiddle tunes you know on mandolin, because you're in a league of your own, because you're the only one who's like thought to play it out of a Marshall or something like that. You know, so that's been my operating theory, and it's done better than I could have ever hoped. You know, it was very neat. You know what I mean? Like,
you do what you gotta
okay, there's
do,
so many good people. There's so many good musicians in Austin. We're not famous for having the most routes to success of a city or anything like that, or the like most connected music industry. Right. But there are a lot of really artistic people here, and then there's a lot of people who are really good players. Totally. So you're not gonna be able to be king by just being really good at something. I would say everybody needs to have their own angle, and find your opportunities where you can start playing as early as possible, or start doing what you're doing as early as possible. Because if you want to be a writer, you can self-publish now. It doesn't matter, right? And if you play music, you got to find those all ages spots, and the warehouse shows, or a house show, or however you need to do to start making your art. Don't wait, I would say, because some people make their best stuff when they're 17 years old. And if anybody's like, oh, well, you got to go this careful route, that does not exist anymore. Not anymore. I could see that in the 90s or the 2000s, but now it's like, make what you want to make and put it out. And if that doesn't work, change your alias and do it again, you know? And then maybe the third time you're Billie Eilish. Right. And to old people, that doesn't sound good. It sounds breathy and like wrong and but like whatever, like 10 million kids like it.
That's what I like about her is she's so specific about her target market.
Exactly, right. Yeah, it might not be for me, it might not be for you, but if you can be somebody's favorite band or favorite artist, you have something going on.
Isn't that the point?
I think success in music is just having enough people that care about your art that when you play a rowdy show or a show where people are paying attention, if somebody covers a song that you wrote, is amazing. Even if that just happens once or twice in your lifetime, it's just like, are you kidding me? Like, it's about making connections, and making connections with like 5 people isn't a great amount of success, but like you shouldn't feel bad about it either. But if you're making connections with hundreds of people, and people are paying attention to just what is coming out of your mind, that's pretty crazy, especially in the context of the whole world where so many people have very terrible lives. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, you don't, oh man, like, you know, I didn't meet my GoFundMe. It's like, well, you don't work in a diamond mine in Africa. Right. You know, or you're like, don't work at a iPhone plant in China where people are jumping off the roof during lunch break, you know? So I don't know. I have a low bar of success. That's part of how I've become successful.
Low expectations are always met.
Yeah.
Man, thank you so much, Kevin, for just coming on the show and being willing to come on this special edition show nonetheless. Be sure to check out Kevin Curtin's articles in the Chronicle. Support your print media. We will be right back with Tribe Mafia after this short break. Welcome back to Daily Austin Music. I'm here with Broxton and Dashawn from Tribe Mafia. And first of all, thank y'all for being on the show. But what interests me most about y'all, besides what's going on right now, is y'all are true Austinites. So kind of give me your history, kind of up until now, of your history in Austin.
We had been with other people before, and then it was so different because it's like we kept leaving them people. So when I met him, we already had similar interests, and like, oh, it's not live in the same neighborhood I do. That's crazy.
That's awesome. How
then one day,
that was
15. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, long time. Like high school days. That's crazy.
Beatboxing on the table.
Yeah.
And doing a little, getting in trouble from the teachers from, you know how you
Yeah, you know, it's just, in the lunch table, freestyling and stuff. And man, it was fun. It's just weird how we reconnected again. Actually tried to take it serious, and we went with a group all the way in Bastrop. That was like so many people at once.
Right. Yeah,
but they ended up doing anything, so me and him were like, you know what, we just gonna form our own group.
Nice. Mm-hmm. We started off with like a group of 10, then to a group of 5, then to a group of 4, and now it's just us 2. So it just it goes down as the years progress. You know, we started off making music, doing like really, really small shows when it was just like our moms.
Like 3 people and shit.
It'll be like our 2 best friends, and it'll be our mom recording the show for us.
Yeah.
And then we went from shows to where, you know, every single show we always said, let's get some phone numbers down and let's call them up for our next show. Because they actually like our music, then we could start, you know, growing our fan base. You know, like
you just got started.
So we started doing like pulling in 5 people to 15 to 30 to 60 to packing up the shows. We went from you know, just doing local shows to creating our own shows. We had this one show called Tribe Mafia Listening Party, and we bring out other artists just like us who wants to build a name for themselves and, you know, actually brand themselves.
You know the party, and you have power.
Exactly.
You know, and that's awesome.
We provide like free food to help their guests feel comfortable. Nice. It's in a house setting, so it's very intimate. So like, everybody just right in your face, and you can either have them listen to your songs, or you can perform your songs in front of like 300 people.
Yeah.
I think our last listening party had about what, 500?
Yeah, 500 people. It was just in the actual house.
Yeah, it was like
actual house.
But it was like beautiful. It's crazy.
When's the next one?
We're gonna have it in February.
February 2020.
We're gonna be bringing out Def Jam recording label A&R's. We're gonna be bringing out Universal as well.
Nice. And speaking of giant record labels, y'all just got back from New York like last night. Tell me about that. What were y'all doing up there?
So we were going through with Success. That's one of the A&R's. Well, he's actually the vice president.
He was A&R first for them, and then now he moved up to the vice president now. So when we met him, we're like, dang. He's like, I'm glad y'all here. This is stuff y'all doing. I seen y'all progress. All you gotta do is get more streams.
Right.
If they're online, it's all about streams now. They don't care about if you're great now. That's out the window. He said that's old days now. He's like, now everything online, they only care about numbers. They don't even care about your name no more. They just want to see numbers. I mean, if you're making money off your streams and everything like that, you don't need a label because you're gonna have to split between them and your own team at the same time.
Are you completely independent now? Are you signed?
Fully independent.
Yeah, we fully independent.
Fully independent right now. I mean, like you were saying, a label is cool if they're working with you hand in hand.
Yeah, if it was the 80s.
Yeah. But now they're like, it's like a loan, and if anybody knows, like us being students in college, if you take a loan, you got to pay that back, and sometimes they want interest as well.
Exactly.
So
sometimes,
most of the time, most of the times they want interest, and if you're doing that, it's like you're really not helping yourself. Right.
I want to go back to networking because y'all look like networking kings. Like seriously, from where we're standing, because
that's how we got to Brazil. So
tell me about Brazil. Like how'd that happen?
So South by Southwest, you know, we was networking with some guys. They liked our song Triple Double. They told us, you guys want to travel with us and make music with us. And we was like, sure, we'll do that. We love doing that.
Yeah, we did a collaboration. Like, cool.
So we did that, and our song Like Cola, I guess it's been going viral, like on Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, YouTube, you name it.
But in like other areas, so it was more exciting.
Especially in Brazil. Yeah. And so I guess one of Akon's A&R's reached out to our team, and they were telling us, you guys want to come out to Brazil and make a tour with them. I was like, yeah. Sure. So, you know, they covered our flights, they covered our stay, they covered our food, and went out there, and that was our first time performing for a crowd of
60,000 people.
Akon was cool.
Man, thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here for sure.
Thank you.
We appreciate you for coming.
Check them out, Tribe Mafia, all over the internet.
We want you to do one thing. We want everybody right now that's watching this to go check out Dat Boy Sam. That's at Dat Boy Sam's Instagram. And we have a video on there that we want you to comment on. We just want you to answer this one simple question.
Should we sign or not? Dun, dun, dun.
Be sure to check out the Damn Today show every day for Who's Playing the Night, Austin Music News, music reviews, and commentary at 9. And check out the Damn Tonight show live every Wednesday at 10:35. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.